Chance Spot KODI. I'm here with Carter Gail, forward. 4-3 on the season, but I don't think that's indicative to how good this team is. Two of those three losses were in a shootout. Talk about that a little bit.
So, I mean, in those losses, we kind of controlled the game, if you ask me. And I don't know, watching the film, it kind of seems like that as well. We held at least 50% possession in both of those games, definitely more. And I think just our biggest weakness as far as that goes is finishing our balls. Like, we get a lot of shots off, but a lot of them just aren't on the frame, or they're just weak shots straight into the keeper's hands. And the shootout losses, I think, are going to be big motivators for us to finally work on our finishing, because it's a problem that we've had over the years.
Well, and so the thing is, the hard part about this is that I would say that a lot of that is that maybe you take a lot of that on yourself because you're the leading goal scorer, but a lot of you have teammates. You have a lot of other people. I want people to know that there's talent on that field with you. It's not you just lead the team in scoring.
Yeah, no, we've got so many great guys, and yeah, I might have the most goals, but I mean, most of those came off of just rebounds. Like, my teammates did all the work, a through ball, and I just ran onto it and scored. Like, it wasn't like my goals have been completely phenomenal. I've done all the work. Like, everyone else has kind of supported and been behind me in all of those, and so like it's just not a one-man show.
And I'm glad that he said that, because that was kind of the point. Is that you're kind of on the outside looking in, you're kind of going, but what's really keeping you guys in the game is your back line. Talk about your back line, because that looks maybe one of the best in the state.
Yeah, I mean, they're super solid. Like, Owen's always been solid ever since I can remember. I've played with him since I've been 10 years old. Zach, I've played with him since about the same age. Val and Lucas are both super strong, older guys. We got 2 seniors there. They're just super strong. We don't get a lot of goals scored on us. I think, 4 over the entire season. I don't think that's a stat line that anyone else in the state has. And it's just super impressive to me, honestly, because we lost a lot of key players on our back line last year, and they're definitely filling those shoes. If not, those shoes have been bigger.
Right.
In my opinion.
And I agree with you. I think that again, the back line is as good as theirs. Your midfield line also very good. I think, again, the same thing is it seems like the onus of all this goes onto the forwards and you guys' position, but I don't necessarily think that's the case, because you get plenty of shots on goal. You said your possession is more than 60%, sometimes 70% in some of those games. That Powell game, you guys had it over 70% of the time, sure. and just ended up coming up short on that. So again, talk about in that, what is the mental fortitude? Like, we're going to get this going.
We've been working on finishing a lot in the past 2 weeks or so. We poured in 9 on Lyman. We scored 3 against Mountain View, and we also scored against Green River, which is something that we kind of haven't been able to get going as much, and 1 against Lander, obviously. We haven't been able to get any goals against any tougher teams so far this season, and I think this weekend we kind of broke through that barrier, there's just like a mental block that seemed to have been in place, where we look at a team and we think, okay, they're good, it's going to be tougher to score. But I think we kind of broke that down this weekend, and hopefully we should be able to pour some in on Pinedale as well.
When you look at where everybody kind of lines up, especially on the west side, we look at the teams, there seems to be more. Soccer has elevated in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, since you started, as far as it goes, I mean, everybody's getting better. Everybody's kind of rising. Talk about that a little bit, about the competition level now.
I mean, after last year, I mean, all around, every team basically in the state seemed to have so many seniors on their starting 11, and we just kind of didn't really know. But I think as far as we go, we have a lot of guys that have been playing together for a long time. And I think just our team chemistry, we all know kind of how each other play and like where our heads go when we first get the ball. And I think that helps us. And it's just, honestly, it's kind of crazy for me to see like just all of the state in general. It's crazy for me to see Mountain View being as competitive as they are. I mean, I think even Lyman was a better team than they have been for the past few years. And it's just impressive.
Well, you look at going to state, that out of all of that, there's going to be a good team that stays home. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's going to be kind of blows your mind, because it's usually the 4 best teams. The 4 best teams. I mean, it's pretty easy going. But now with this, you're going to have another 5 or 6 teams that are going to be competing. Mm-hmm. So talk about that a little bit, as far as like your mental, because now you're basically resetting the schedule now for the rest of the week. You're going to finish off with conference play. Talk about that as far as trying to get ahead and getting those wins.
I mean, we just got to take care of games that we know we can take care of. You know, we know we can beat Pinedale, we know we can beat Mountain View, and we know we can beat Lyman. And if we take care of those games at the least, then we're guaranteed our ticket to state. And those are just teams that we've already beaten and we know we can. And then I think I'm starting to like our matchup against Powell more and more with every day that we practice. And I just think we got to work out a few kinks, and we could end up at number 1 in the West, but it's really anyone's game at this point.
Well, thanks a lot very much, Carter, Gail, Chance Bond.